if it were, for example, that Niskanen hit
Yes.
on Gallagher.
Yeah. That's should we
Oh
go?
boy, that was a
Should we
tough
get
one.
into that right
And that
now?
was a
Yeah.
hit.
That was
That
vicious.
was okay. So
Vicious.
there's a bunch of different things to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about, which is kind of tangential to this, so it's a little off topic, but just like for a little bit, this makes me hate replay so much.
Yeah.
I hate that there's this ticky tack replay for like, oh, but this guy like breathed on the
I
goalie
know,
here,
I know.
or like the skate blade was just a tad
I
above
know.
the red line here, but then this guy gets literally chopped in front of the ref's
Yes.
face. It's bleeding and
Yes.
everywhere, and you can't even just look up and just be like,
Right.
hey, you're right, my bad. Like, I'm sorry, that was 30 seconds. Okay, I just had to
No,
rant about
dude,
replay.
it's so true.
But now
though.
go for it. What else do you have to say
That
about
was
this? Oh man,
I can't believe like that shit. He literally turned around, cocked his stick back, targeted him. Like that was and I watched like I know like getting back into replays, I agree that like when you watch something in slow motion, you can't really it's not the same. Like you have to
and
see
I will
full
say,
speed, but
the face was kind of turned a little bit
But
like, while it did.
either
like,
way,
kinda happen.
even if Gallagher did not turn his head, I watched like freeze frames of the clips. His positioning, no matter what, if he turned his head or not, that cross check would have been to the neck. Either way.
No, like absolutely, it's right in front
Exactly.
of him.
He was
it's ridiculous.
vulnerable
And
position.
The problem is that's an elimination game for Montreal. What if they don't win?
I know.
Because that happened, I think, in last year's playoff.
Do you know?
playoffs against Boston?
Do you know what penalty Niskanen got? Or if he got anything? Did he got? He didn't get anything,
a
right?
call.
No. Okay.
No.
Yeah,
he
that's
just like left.
Fucking ridiculous. And I understand. Sure. For refs, it's like if you don't see it, you can't call it. But
they do.
right.
Is the problem.
Wasn't that ref not right in front of him? I'm pretty sure ref was right in front of him.
Look, you can't it's just like look with last year with the Vegas and Sharks, they called a 5-minute major without seeing the play. And
there you go.
You can change plays, right? Like 2 to 4 minutes and 2 to 5 minutes, right? Do you know if you can discount a penalty? I know sometimes they've blown a whistle and then changed it, so
pretty
it's
sure
like.
It's happened before where they've called like a 5-minute and they reduced it to 2. I'm pretty sure.
But also,
But that, obviously, that's
so I don't
only
know if it's
after you see
happened
a
with
replay.
penalties, but I think sometimes they've like called an icing and then been like, you know what, it's not an icing actually, and they've taken the face off
That only
away.
happens when like the linesman calls it or something, and either one of the other linesmen or refs like says, "Oh, it wasn't tipped or it was tipped or whatever." Then they change it.
But like my point is, you're allowed to like have these discussions and later on, and you can blow the whistle and then say like, you know what, we're not gonna actually call anything. We're just gonna drop the puck again.
Yeah.
Our bad.
Yes.
You can do that.
Exactly.
Why not? While the guy
you're
is just
100% right.
bloodied.
You're
like
100%
that.
right. If they can do it for literally every other call on the ice, why can they not reverse a penalty like that?
Or for missed calls, why can't you call it a little later? Like,
and then,
why can't you call it why can't you challenge it at a dead puck?
This is interesting though. Do you think they should implement the kind of NBA thing where they challenge the fouls and stuff to make it like either like a flagrant or a flagrant 2 or whatever the hell it's called?
Oh,
do you think they can implement something like that?
Hockey. Look here. The thing is, hockey is way too, there's so much extracurricular hitting that I don't think you can legislate it like that. See, this is the thing I think, I don't think that fighting even needs to be taken out of hockey, but I feel like a lot of this, if you really want to tighten up the reffing, what needs to be taken out are these cross-checks and all this extracurricular stuff. And, even though, I know how the shove is just a shove and the cross-check is a cross-check, I get that, but the thing is, when you have that, blurred line, it is tough for the refs as well. I've never ref, so I'm not gonna, and I've never played, so I'm not gonna 100% comment on that. But there needs to be some kind of legislating of what's allowed and what's not, if you want to be able to say look, that was unnecessary.
I know, but I think they already have I think the rule book
Well, have they? Because I feel like I see so many cross checks going
I think
called,
the
so I
rule
don't
book
know.
right now is fine. It's just they don't call it by the rule book, which is what is the rule book for if they're not calling it? That's a cross check to the face. Even if the ref didn't see the cross check hit the face, he wound up for the cross check and cross checked.
Oh,
you must have seen Gallagher hit the boards, right?
And he
was
down,
sitting there on the boards, he clearly didn't get there by himself. So it's a penalty.
You just look at his face and you see the fact that you can't see it because there's a bunch of blood.
That's what I'm yes, there should. I think the rule book is fine. It's just the refs do not call it by the rule book.
And that's a big thing. Refing, the refs, the way they referee, they really try to control the game by not blowing the whistle.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not saying that that's a dumb idea. I'm not saying that that's like I'm not. I see where they're coming from, where they don't want to blow the whistle every 3 seconds in order to control the game. I get that, but I'm saying that what is happening right now is not working.
Exactly.
Because people are,
I think,
committing infractions every single play, and the refs can't call it all the time, and they don't call it all the time, and they're so inconsistent.
And I think it might be like magnified now. I'm not sure. I'm just spewing shit right now, but it could be because the game is just it has gotten a lot faster, and maybe the refs, because it was slower, the refs were able to like call it a little bit more, see
and
more
maybe
things.
There's less people doing it, so there's a magnifying glass on the guys doing it.
But now because
or the times that it does
now
happen.
it's because it's so fast. It's like maybe the refs are trying to focus on too much at once, and they are legit missing things, but it's not. It's unacceptable, man. Like it's not.
When we criticize the refs, this is also a criticism of the NHL, because if the NHL is saying two things: either the refs are doing a good job, or they're saying that, and the refs, or they're not willing to give them the extra help that they need, or the extra training, or make the changes necessary.
Yeah.
So this isn't just
I'm not shitting on demonize. Yeah, I'm not shitting on a ref for like their discretion.
I will crap on some.
I will crap on many, because any Canucks fans out there, you know that we've had our
any fans of any. But we all have rough experiences. That's gonna happen over 50 years. I mean,
but the Canucks have been literally targeted by refs. Like legitimately throwing.
I'm
games.
not gonna comment because I don't know.
I do know this was the whole Burrows incident.
But I'm just gonna say you're a Lakers fan, so I don't think
I'm a half Lakers fan. I'm a half Lakers fan. It's only because of Kobe.
You're
Rest in peace. It's his birthday today. Rest in peace, Kobe. But
let's try to get this up for him today. Actually,
but it's just it's ridiculous this year, especially, and maybe we do say this every year, but. Maybe that's a indication that things should fucking change.
We're getting more and more fed up. Yeah. This is a crisis, man. Kotkaniemi's ejection as well. So this is another thing that I want to talk about. What the heck is an injury?
That's
like, is it defined in the rule book? Because so first of all, they said that Kotkaniemi got ejected because the rule is if you injure someone.
Yeah.
I remember reading the rule and I was like, that's not really exactly what it says, is it? Like, it didn't really seem that way.
I think it is if it is if they injure someone, and in this case, the blood warranted the injury, so the blood was the injury.
Wait, blood's an injury,
yes.
Okay.
But that's the same for high
Alan
sticking.
Vigneault, I remember him saying that like blood wasn't an injury
you
for
see, you know what? Yeah. So for that Gallagher penalty, I obviously think it should have been a 5-minute major. And I think Niskanen should have been suspended.
I think that's a game misconduct.
Yeah,
maybe
5-minute major and a game misconduct, and you get suspended for the rest of the series.
If you say, I might have.
Gallagher.
It's hard for me to say that just because I feel like I do agree with you, but that's also like it's one of those iffy things. I think it's just hard to agree with that.
But why? Why?
I'm so used to.
What do you mean? Why
because
would
I'm used to the NHL player safety. Not
I know.
Doing that.
Sure.
That's why I'm like, wow, that seems so excessive. But maybe that is fair.
Put aside that player safety.
No, that'd be a 2-game suspension.
What do you think your suspension is for this?
Ooh. Okay. Honestly, seeing that
a cross check to the fucking face. Targeted. He targeted
really
him.
Unnecessary. He didn't have the puck, did he? Like he had lost it already.
Yes, it wasn't like an accident cross check. It was he came with the intent to cross check him in the head. So I'm pretty sure.
At minimum, do you know around when in the game that happened?
Oh no, I think it might have been halfway through or something.
So if it's around early on, halfway through, I think it at least needs to be that game and another, because it wasn't that game. It needs to be at least 2.
Yeah. I think
at minimum.
This is my hot take. I don't think it's that hot. I think it should be a 5-game suspension. But regular season.
I don't disagree.
Regular
with that.
season, because the NHL has a different rule book for playoffs and stuff.
Everybody has different rules.
Playoffs, it should be the president in the playoffs is like 1 playoff game equals 2 regular season games. So I would have been happy seeing Niskanen.
2 or 3 game.
Yeah, 3 game, because that first of all now he's out for the rest
3
of the
game,
series. And
yeah, the rest of the you have to make it so the rest of the series. I think 3 game. That's
yeah.
fair.
So that's my take.
Because like Montreal can't even complain. That Montreal can't be wrong by that.
No,
situation.
not exact. That's exactly why. Like
But it's always tough when it's a guy like Bortuzzo, where it's like the other team gets better when he gets out too.
But no, and also,
had to
but
take
also
another
like
shot at him.
Niskanen, like how they always give people with history longer suspensions.
He
Niskanen
did that to
literally cross-checked
Crosby, was
Crosby
it?
in the face, and I think that's what gave him a concussion that year. But then they still won the cup. But either way, yeah, he's done this before. So now, why is it? What he got? What did he get? A 1 game?
1 game, I think. Yeah.
So
and they won it.
exactly. So
that's it. Bye Montreal.
it's pretty fucking.
Yep.
It's just not right. But
yeah,
and then
I mean,
what do you got? Okay, the Kotkaniemi one.
what do you say? It's
That one.
Go for it.
So, if we were gonna call that one based on how the refs have been calling hit from behinds in the playoffs, it wasn't even a penalty. But
I've seen way worse. But I think for real, that's for sure. So it reminded me of. Do you remember Kerfoot had one where he like it was like his stick, like the side of it, like a cross check, but it was a tap. But it was at the boards, and it was just one of those ones where like you have to call it. So like I don't think it was even as bad as the Kerfoot one, to be honest. But
it's where it got me was that I'm pretty sure when like the guy was turned already.
Yeah, that was a bad angle.
And the thing for me was Kotkaniemi jumped, and that's a huge no-no. Jumping into it is like the cardinal sin of hitting. Is you can't jump into a hit. That's literally illegal, and it's so dangerous.
So you think jumping means bare minimum? It should be at least 4.
And just it was a hit from behind, like jumping and hit from behind. That's. I think it's justified for a 5-minute major, to be honest, and out of the game. Do you think
maybe
out of the game?
Yeah, you think the misconduct's justified? No. I mean, what you're saying is
like definitely. So I'm definitely on a 5-minute major.
So you disagree with their reasoning so far, but you
I'm not sure. What was the reasoning?
So the reason.
The injured, the player, right?
Sanheim got injured, but he didn't go to the quiet room or anything.
Yeah, no.
Like everyone was like, he got injured, so Kotkaniemi got ejected. And
I think you can agree with.
That's what the reasoning.
Yeah, I think you can agree with this for me on this. Like, I think a hit from behind is hit from behind. Doesn't matter if he gets injured or not. He should be 5 in a game.
Yeah. Well, you write the so this is something they say in basketball. You write the story when the ball's in the air. When you see the hit is when you decide whether it's dirty or not. Not when you see whether the guy gets injured.
How many teeth he lost. It's based on it was a dirty fucking hit. Like, right? Okay, you should get kicked out of the game because you hit a person
5-minute major game misconduct because of those reasons. I can't Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know enough. I definitely agree that like that's a fair reasoning. I just disagree with the reasoning of the guy got injured, so give him 5 minutes. That's my only take.
Make sense to me. It's like if they literally just called every hit from behind, no matter who gets injured, no matter how minor it was. The NHL.
If you call every hit from behind.
The NHL's been talking about, gotta get rid of these headshots, gotta get rid of hits from behind. Okay, then maybe if you would call every hit from behind and treat it every hit from behind the exact same way. Players wouldn't do it anymore. They would know they're getting a 5-minute and they're getting kicked out of the game and an automatic suspension.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This might be maybe the dumbest hockey thing I've ever said, in all honesty.
Hey, trust me, you got commentators saying really stupid shit, so you have nothing to worry about, bud.
Okay. But because I've seen how football has really changed the times that you can hit someone. They've made it so there are just certain times where if a receiver's in a certain position, look, you're just not going to be able to hit him. It is what it is.
Well,
should the NHL maybe do you think the game could move in a way that when a defenseman gets to the puck first at the boards, look, you can try to tie him up to play the puck, but you can't hit him in that position if he gets to the boards first. Do you think that's a change that hockey either would make or maybe should?
Think about this.
Those are two different questions.
Back in the days of like clutch and grab hockey, slow like hockey and stuff, they had this thing where when you're up against, like, if you're like gonna either hit someone up against the boards or whatever along the boards, you're allowed to bear hug them and just hold them there. So it's right.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's kind of like what happens in Shell when you go up there, where you just kind of like get into the hug from behind.
They moved away from that though. I think because of the speed of the game and everything. But in the double IHF, I'm almost positive for like at least the World Juniors tournaments, and I can guarantee this will be for younger than that as well because it's like younger
They
hockey
don't want
players.
people
They
killing each
they
other. Yeah.
started calling like interference calls. It's like the threshold to hit the player after they release the puck. Like you cannot hit the player. Like even if it's like 2 seconds or a second after they release the puck, you're not allowed to hit them. You'll get a penalty for interference.
Yeah.
So in
So
the NHL,
really you gotta make your
like in
decision
the
a second
NHL,
ahead of time.
It's like, oh, you probably have like 3 seconds to hit the guy after, and then
the
even
thing is,
then
it's also
up to-
situational where you are on the ice,
and then even then it's
too.
up to the ref's discretion. Like the ref could call it interference, or they could not. They could call it a roughing, and they could not. So.
And they feel like, oh, if this guy dives, so
exactly.
it's not
But
right. Like
the IIHF has done it. International hockey's moving in that direction where they've made everything safer. Like the no-touch icing came from international hockey, I think.
and I think no-touch icing has okay, occasionally
it's
think
sus
about
sometimes,
this.
but it works.
Every time,
I think
every time. What if every time you were gonna have a sus call, it was an injury?
Exactly, it's worth it. I'm
like,
positive it's
that's
worth it.
it.
So
and
with
like,
this
it's not the
interference thing,
end of the
yeah.
world. Like you can recover from an icing call. You can win a face-off and like hustle
Exactly.
sometimes. Like it's not always the end of the world.
It's just these. To me, it's simple. Like every hit from behind, no matter how forceful, or okay, maybe like there's some where it's like. There's clear accidents.
So that's the thing.
There's clear accidents where people
exactly,
lose their footing.
and that's when you don't make it a major, and that's when you don't make it a suspension. But it's still a call because the onus is on the hitter, and that's a tough thing to do. Football did that, and look, a lot of defenders hate it, and a lot of people hate it, and it's been a lot of people within the sport think it's bad, but
like
less head injury. It means less head injuries, which first of all, like. I personally think it's good. It's a tough thing. A lot of players are going to be like,
it's tough,
might disagree with it.
At the end of the day,
and I can't disagree with that.
I'm pretty sure those players also don't like being hit from behind. So, you have to set the standard where every single hit.
Let them know what the rules are.
Exactly.
Let's have consistent rules so everyone can play the same game.
Consistency with every hit from behind. Like they have to, or else it's never. You can talk about it all you want about getting it out of the game, but it's never going to happen.
One really long season.
Yeah.
And then I think everybody will get like one month where just there's probably call after call. That's what happened actually. So the NFL made it. So and this is actually I think kind of a BS rule because it endangers pass rushers.
Yeah.
But they made it so a pass rusher is not allowed to land with his body weight on the quarterback.
Okay. Yeah.
So sometimes now pass rushers had to kind of get out of the way, but what it did is it did eliminate those kind of dirty plays when they would just intentionally fall and crush on a guy.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
Everybody knows
dangerous.
Football players talk about it once they retire. You wrap a guy up from his arms, he can't protect himself, and you bring him to the ground, his head is going to hit the turf.
Yeah.
So, like, these things, let's just make the game safer,
It's pretty, it's like, I don't understand why it takes us, like, just even talking about it. Like, it's such an easy solution, is what I'm trying to, it's easy.
It is. And, sorry, what I meant to say is, so there were calls about this every week, and football fans were losing their minds, right? Like there was a lot of BS calls too, where the call was used when it shouldn't have been because it was really unfortunate. But eventually, everybody kind of got used to it. And look, I mean, there's still the occasional like, hey man, this 15-yard call shouldn't have been here, and 15 yards is more significant than a missed icing call. I will admit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like. Football is still football, and it's a tough rule. I think the hit from behind rule would actually be a lot easier and make more sense to implement. But like, the game will survive.
Yeah, like
even if it's safe.
Like a few weeks ago, maybe like a month ago, I was watching. They had this was before. Actually, no, this was before the bubble was even started. I was watching a classic NHL game on TV, and it was probably from either the late '90s or early 2000s. I forgot who was playing, but. I was watching it, and I'm like, holy fuck. These guys are literally, like, taking each other's arms off, like, in the middle of the game, like, slashing, hooking, grabbing.
Dude,
it was
crazy.
Like, how I was like, if
those guys would have lost.
I know.
Think about how many sick players
I know.
You lose.
I was like, I was watching.
It's just
completely I was watching it, and I'm like, if that was the type of hockey being played today, I would be complaining about every second of every shift because of how much like brutal shit was going on, man. It was
Oh, man.
insane.
No.
Like I could not believe I was watching.
Oh,
it.
dude.
I could not believe I was watching.
In football, you know what they talk about? Like there's this linebacker. I forget what his name is. I remember he broke his like teammate's eye socket once in practice. But they literally talk about like, oh yeah, you put your fingers like in people's eyes sometimes or up their noses, like trying to pull stuff,
dude.
like twist ankles at the bottom of piles. Like people we're like the game is dirty now, but
I
like,
know. Like,
whoa, things have changed, and I think for the better.
Yeah, I think for the better. But then the thing is, when I watch that kind of stuff, now I understand. Like I understand why like there are these old school guys that are like, nowadays everyone's just soft and everything. Like, yeah, because you guys
like,
were literal
like
animals, fucking trying to take each other's heads off for fun.
Soft to not want to actually get into a fight and just play hockey.
You have to understand that the NHL changed. Like the NHL changed. It wasn't like a decision for a person born in 2000 to now be part of a speedy NHL.
Better for the players,
exactly.
too.
The NHL changed for the better to make the sport better.
Soft means something. Like soft can mean a lot of things. Soft doesn't mean
dude.
just
If you
want
to take cheap shots at people and cross check and slash people, fucking play beer league and just do it. Like I speak from first-hand experience. Like it's pretty fucking easy. Just go to a fucking men's league and just start fucking taking your anger out on people and see what happens.
I mean, even the actual NHL though, in between face-offs and stuff. Like, look, it's not like hockey is devoid of like, and even all sports are like devoid of just those little shoves and things here and there. Like that's just, it's not like it's not there.
Yeah.
Like, we just don't need to be killing.
That's
each other.
the thing. It's like there's clear things that people have problems with, and rightfully so, and that's like trying to kill people, trying like intentionally dirty stuff. Like I don't understand why there is even any issue with people speaking out against this stuff and wanting a change. Like, would you want that to happen to you? Would you want your jaw to be broken?
Manly,
would you want
what's so manly, rough, and tough about a hit to the numbers?
Right?
Like,
it's not.
You couldn't see it coming.
It's literally, if anything, that's the most cowardly play you can do. You hit someone in a vulnerable position. Like, it's fucking awful.
And I guess look, Kevin BX. I remember was also saying though, like, hey, you can't about the Santai hit, or maybe it was a different one. That look, you can't turn away from that. Like, you have to know that if you keep turning away from that, you're going to keep getting hit.
Yeah, but I see the difference.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with that.
I see the difference.
That is true.
Yeah, I see.
But at the same time, you shouldn't have to change the way you play because the rule is stupid.
No, I understand that because there are situations where like you're
being a pragmatist.
Yeah, you're turning. You're gonna turn. Yeah, you're gonna turn in unexpected ways sometimes. And if someone's already committed to the hit, it's gonna happen. And like it's dirty because it's that close to the boards, and the person could have been in a vulnerable position. But sometimes I see that you can't just stop when you're going full speed, especially in a game like this, right?
Yeah, like
but if you call that, it either way,
that's when what BXS says comes in handy, where it's like, look,
Yes.
even if the guy doesn't mean to hit you, look, it's gonna happen sometimes, and turning away from it is just a reaction that might be dangerous.
But
at the same time,
even if it's still a penalty, call it and it'll happen less. I think. I mean, right? That's just what I think, and I think that's what has to be done. Like, call it every time.
Just like once you actually start showing that, I will call it every time, that's when they'll stop. Because so the Seattle Seahawks literally won a Super Bowl beating the refs this way, where their coaching staff was like, just commit defensive pass interference on every play. What are they going to do? Call it every 5 times? They're not going to do it every play, and that's how you play that really physical kind of game. Because they'll call it a couple times to set the tone to tell you, hey, this is as much as we'll allow. Now we're not going to allow it anymore. And you're like, all right, this is all the legal interference I'm going to get away with all night.
Exactly, man. It's just we need to see better, and it falls upon refs. It falls upon the NHL.